Good morning and welcome to the David Wilson Out and About YouTube channel. Well, back out on the paddle. I was out on Monday, it's now Friday. I've had to take a few days to try and let my sunburn calm down. I got caught out without my sun cream, so I got absolutely toasted. So hopefully a bit better today. If it gets too hot, I'll actually have to cover up because it's actually forecast for about 27 degrees. So it's going to be a hot one. Right, well, I've put in at Yalding. It's 7:45 in the morning, so it's nice and early. No one's about, just a couple of fishermen behind me. And what I'll be doing on this section, I'll be paddling up to Sluice Weir Lock. So without further ado, let's go. Paddle leash dipping in the water. Make sure I've not left nothing behind. Lock the car, yeah. Okay, here we go. I had to duck down there and the camera just about cleared it, but all's good. It's getting a little bit busier on the road now on Hampstead Lane, but we'll soon leave that behind, and you can probably hear the noise of the weir to the left of us here. That will obviously try and drag me in, so I'll try and keep closer to the right hand bank. Directly in front of us now, probably just about make out the sign. I know it says ice cream milkshakes only. It's Teapot Island. Well worth a visit if you're down in Yalding way. It was actually quite breezy when I turned up. I've spent about half hour setting up. I wasn't rushing, just taking in the views of the river. Brought a flask of coffee with me, or you know, a thermal cup of coffee. So I drank that and just sort of sat there for a while. But the breeze seems to have dropped down a little bit. It was quite overcast as well, but the sun is going to break through very shortly. It's certainly been quite a while since I was last on this section of river, and I was going back through old files. I've got a playlist, Medway Canoe Trail, which I believe I started in about 2018 with a much cheaper camera, some sort of a Casso camera. All very jerky, a little bit unprofessional footage, but it is what it was then, you know. But I never talked over it. All I ever did was video it and set it to music. So this will be the first time, well, I've been on this section actually hundreds of times with a camera or without a camera. This will be the first time where I'm actually sort of speaking over it and showing you the views and explaining the locks. Probably going to be the only one out for quite some time, very much like Monday, because I've come down here early. And it is a Friday, not the weekend yet. It does get busy down here at the weekends. Saturday, surprisingly not. If you get in early enough, what I've done, when I've done Saturday paddles on this river, I tend to get in nice and early, especially when it's in the full of summer. I'll be on here at 6:30 in the morning. And when I'm coming off the river, maybe 11:30, 12, everybody's piling to get on it. So I sort of miss the rush. Sundays tends to be busy, so just bear that in mind. Where you think Saturdays will be really busy, the earlier morning time isn't, but Sundays it starts very early. There's, especially Yalding, there's people literally pitching up tents on the bank there. It just gets absolutely manic. So not my sort of day out, so I tend to avoid it, but I have done it. As you can see ahead of me, it's the best part of Mill Pond this morning. Just how I like it. Just the very, very slightest ripple on the water. Now that the wind's dropped. Well, the wind's picking up a bit now. It's just a gentle blow, probably about 5 to 8 mile an hour. And it's coming on from my left side, so as I turn here it should assist me along to the next bend. This is quite a windy stretch, very, well, it's quite wide as well, as you can see, but very peaceful, unlike the other side. Once you get to over the other side of Yalding going downstream, it all starts to get a bit busier, especially again at weekends. You will end up with motor launches and all sorts out on it, but you know, it's here for everybody to enjoy. Well, as you can see, the banks on both sides, right and left, are very, very built up along here. Always a bit of an issue if you do capsize, if you do go in the water, because you could, if you're struggling to fold your kayak, you'd have real trouble getting out here. There is a bit up ahead, like an earth bank, but it is very built up indeed. So quiet. Just the sound of bird song and my paddle. And literally the surface of the water now looks like glass. Looks like you could walk on it. This is such a lovely river and stretch of the river to paddle on when it's not absolutely packed with kayakers, paddle boarders and just general puddle pilots. I say that in a humour, not in nastiness. A few signs of the winter there, tree down, quite a few overhanging trees. Oh, never far away from the real world. Notification just come through on my phone. It's and that's in the dry sack, you could hear it through it. Well, I'm just going to down paddle for a second, and as you can see ahead, or to the right, because this is a bend, there's some moorings, the short stay moorings. I'm not sure how long we're there, 48 hours or whatever, and we're now approaching Stoneman Lock. Or is it Stoneham? Stoneman. I'll put that in the description. But this is a disused lock, so it's just a matter of paddling straight through it now. I don't know what it is about this lock. Every time I come through it, it's just eerie. It's got something about it that's, oh, I don't know. Maybe because it is just disused and looks a bit abandoned. But I actually camped out on this one night, and it's probably the only time I never got any sleep. I sleep brilliantly when I'm camping, but this place gave me the willies. So this is the first lock from Yalding, paddling upstream. yeah, it does freak me out a little bit. I don't know what it is. I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere. Not as if there's going to be hundreds of people about. There's a live on board the other side of this as well, so whether they're actually there all the time or not, I don't know, but there is a narrow boat just the other side of this lock. That's it, through the first one, and now we're en route to Sluice Weir Lock. Well, as you can probably hear, I'm just approaching a road bridge, so once I'm under that, we'll get some peace and quiet again. Sun's not quite broke through yet, but when I get to the next lock, I've got to portage all the way up. So what I'll do, I'll get my other hat out, because I was wearing this hat the other day, so I was sort of protecting my neck, but where the band is at the back, there's a half moon shape above it. It looks like I've got a red eye at the back. I've literally sunburned through the gap. It's crazy. So it looks very, very weird, very silly when I take my hat off. But I've got one of my wide brimmed sort of Aussie style hats with me. They're not very fashionable, but they keep the sun off the back of my neck and my face. As I say, I was quite burnt. So yeah, I really didn't expect that to come out like that, the sun, but there you go. You've got to be prepared. Noisy bridge. I'll bring you back in a moment. They got some guts. They've been climbing up on that and going halfway across the river and graffitiing. I'm not sure if it's brave or stupid. Well, it's a bit blowy along this little section here, but fortunately it's a tailwind, so what it's doing when it's gusting, it's propelling me along. I just stopped paddling. I can't be bothered to go any faster. What we're doing, we're now just coming through, I believe it's East Peckham. There's an industrial estate here, and obviously, as you can see ahead, there's another bridge, but yeah, I'm quite sure that's East Peckham. And once we get through this little bit, we're back out into the sticks again, with the peace and quiet. can see the industrial units on the right hand side as we come through here. Well, I'm not sure what that is to my left. I'm just going to go and have a look. I don't remember that. That must be new. In need of rest and refreshment, then come on up. Cafe open Tuesday to Sunday 9 till 5. Oh. No motorised boats, please. Oh, that's quite novel. I honestly don't remember that being there. Obviously you've got a canoe platform. It's got a larger platform there. Steps and a slide. Well, a slipway, but wooden. Private jetty, but yeah, it's a cafe at the top of it, so I'll bear that in mind for another time. See on the left there, fishing sleep, so you do get people up here, or anglers, fishing. Gone away from calling them fishermen because it's not PC, not politically correct anymore, is it? Anglers, to take in all sexes and all genders. There's still some industrial stuff to my right, but we're slowly moving away from it. Have a drink out my water bladder, which I got in the back of the seat. I spoke about that the other day. The back of the seat has got a bag, probably about, it's not waterproof, but it's like a 2 metre bag attached to it. So what I did, I've got water bladders for my backpacks, my rucksacks, but they're much larger, like 2 litres. So what I did, I bought a 1.5 litre cheap one just to try it out. I've had it in the freezer, so it's really nice and cold. I stick it in there and I extend it to the front, so rather than carrying water bottles, either, you know, proper bottles, reusable, or plastic disposable bottles, which is not good for the environment, and them all rolling around the kayak or falling over the side, I drink from that. The only thing is, the other day, I mean, it was scorching hot. Got back to, where did I go from? Tonbridge, Slipway. I got back there about 4:30, but for the last sort of hour, when I was trying to sup for it, it was like drinking water the temperature of tea without a tea bag in it. It was horrible, but it's still hydrating, so you can't really odds out. If I put it in a cooler bag, it wouldn't stay cold for that much longer, because I have to get the tube coming out, so there's always going to be that break in the seal. But it does work. I've also got 1 litre of water in my lunch bag, or on my insulated lunch bag, which I froze solid, absolutely solid. So even if it gets hot till about 1 o'clock, it's still relatively cold, so that helps out. So basically I'm carrying 2.5 litres of water, which is a fair bit of water. Nowhere to go to the toilet when you're in a kayak. That's a sigh of contentment. Very high banks along this section. You're not getting out. It's full of butterflies on the right hand side. There's damselflies now. Yeah, absolutely stunning. This is a very, very pretty piece of stretch of the river, this bit. I remember the first time I came over Sluice Lock and came down here, I thought, wow. There you go, we're leaving Sluice Weir Lock behind. And we're now heading upstream to Weir Lock. Quite a lot of moorings on the left, but no takers as yet. I'm sure there will be very soon. I'm just going to glide along for a minute. I've put my kayaking gloves on because the backs of my hands, where they caught the sun the other day, they're stinging in the heat, but I'm not over happy wearing them, so I'm just going to take them off, then I'll bring you back. Oh, very welcome breeze on my back. Oh, it's lovely. After portaging, I get a nice breeze directly in my back, pushing me along, cooling me off from carrying all my stuff over. Right, onwards. Yeah, it's quite nice to have the assistance of a little bit of wind behind me. Does mean unless it turns on the way back, I'm going to get clobbered with it in my face. But hey ho, that's life. Lovely old liverboard here. Not sure if anyone actually lives on it now. From the outside it looks a little bit neglected, but it's been here a lot of years. What a way to spend your Friday. Any Friday morning. There's a Dutch barge, that is, I believe. Gorgeous boat. Morning. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move over to the left, or the port side, try and see if I can catch a bit of shade, because there's going to be a lot of sun this afternoon. Try and keep out of it as much as I can at the moment. I've already reapplied another layer of sun cream, but I'm already sunburnt, so as soon as the sun comes out it still smarts. Just hoping to minimise the damage today. And a rope swing now. Great fun for the kids and maybe adults. That's it, nicely shaded. That is such a welcome breeze. I'd like to know what temperature it is now, but it's sure warming up. What's the time? It's 25 to 10. It's already warming up, so as I said, it's going to be a blisterer later. I'll probably actually stupidly, oh, it sounds stupid, I'll probably have to put my jacket on the way back to completely protect my arms. Definitely have to get my other hat on, my wide brim hat. and cover up my ankles, so hopefully that'll keep me safe from the sun's rays. Well, over to the right here is a homemade diving platform. Look, 3 levels. How cool is that? An old enamel bath and a hut with a grass roof and what looks like a some sort of shed, and then an outhouse leaning at an angle. How cute's that? Paddling upstream from Allington Lock, which is the end, officially it's the end because the start point is Tonbridge Slipway, where I put in on my last video. So paddling upstream from Allington Lock to Tonbridge Slip, you cannot, there is no canoe slides, you have to portage all the way up. The canoe slides or fish passes, they are downstream. Now if you go back to my last video, and I'll put that up the top, I'll put a link to it up the top, I did Town Lock, I used the canoe pass, Eldridge's Lock, I used the pass, and Porter's Lock. Love that one. I used the pass. When I got to East Lock, which was my final destination on that video, no way. It's concrete base, it was quite shallow, it's very steep, and I remember in the past when I had a Ituit 3, which is now I believe called the Ituit 100, they've rebranded it, which has 3 skegs. I went down it and I absolutely destroyed all 3 of the skegs. It just run down, no, plastic on concrete all the way down, and destroyed them. So I've got a 7-inch skeg on this. It ain't happening. When you get to Sluice Weir Lock, much the same. Well, it is the same. It's really only good for hard shells. Your inflatables, they're out the equation. After that, you've got Sluice Weir. No way. I've actually seen someone come down at an inflatable and bounce at the bottom, sort of hit, because there's some sort of ledge at the bottom, and they bounced out of the kayak. The kayak sort of literally went bang into the ground, and they bounced and flew through the air. Comical to look at, bloody dangerous. So that one's out. Your next place is Yalding. There is not a canoe pass at Yalding. You have to actually paddle round to Hampstead Lock, and there's not a pass there. So again, you've got to portage. Next in line, Teston Lock. That has a canoe pass, which I have done. It's doable, but a lot of people do capsize on it, but it is doable. It's a 2-stage one. A bit deceiving, but good fun. From Teston, you go to East Farley. East Farley hasn't got a canoe pass, so that's a portage again. And then you paddle through Maidstone to Allington Lock, which is the end, so it's got a slipway. And that's it, really. So very few of them are actually doable in an inflatable. But hard shells are completely different. Obviously, they've got a keel, but they haven't got 9 inches of skeg hanging off the bottom, plastic skeg. So there's just a little sort of a rundown on what I think. If you want to try them, the ones I said don't try, it's up to you. I'm not your boss, but I'm just telling you from experience, doing a couple of them and seeing things on them. They're not, it's not a good idea. Take your kayak out, carry it round, get back in, stay safe. Well, we're now approaching Sluice Weir Lock. This is really scenic and quiet today, but very busy at the weekends. The Environment Agency, EA for short, do allow camping here, so it can get really busy at weekends. There's all sorts of barbecues and a bit of a party place, really. So, but during the week, like today, absolutely fine. And look how beautiful it looks. Got the lock gates to the left, canoe platform. You can see a lady getting off a paddleboard. It's the first person I've seen actually at the canoe platform. I had a nice chat with her, about 5 minutes. Very nice lady, just chatting about the river and getting out. It's her second time out this season, if you like, this year. So yeah. Right, so we're going to go to the platform, portage to the other side, and then on for the last, I believe, 3/4 of a mile to East Lock, where I'm going to stop for a little bit of nosebag. That's slang for bite to eat. Rather nice looking platform, lovely setting here. Looks like there's a new picnic bench up there. That one had loads of scorch marks on it from where people were barbecuing. Right, Davey has landed. So there you go, that was Sluice Weir Lock. We're now back in. I did actually stop there and have a sandwich. I didn't bother filming it, sat in the shade for a bit, just cooled off a bit. So I've had a sandwich. Now we're on to East Lock, which was the final destination on the last video. Obviously I was doing Tonbridge Slipway to East Lock and then back, so the video actually includes back, although that's only sort of highlighted and set to music, whereas the first part is you know, more my style of talking over the video. Right, I believe this section is round about 3/4 of a mile, so it's quite a short section, and I won't bother getting out at East Lock. As I said, if you go to the last video, you'll be able to view that lock. All I'll do is I'll stop there for 10 minutes and then turn around, start heading back towards Yalding. There seems to be some obstacle in the water in front of me there, so I'm just being safe, coming wider, paddling around it. What is that? Oh, it is a branch. Yeah, well, I was advisable. Oh no, I actually just missed that by about 30 millimeters, so I could have hit that. A lot of it was just under the surface of the water. I'm sure it wouldn't have actually punctured the boat, but it would have caught on the skeg. but it just caused me a few issues. The noise of the weir and the canoe fish pass behind us now. We're well on our way towards East Lock. Very still, lots of foliage in the water and the trees. Actually very pretty to look at in the sunshine. Well, as you can see, I'm donning a silly hat, or what I call a silly hat, and the old wide brims I bought a few years ago. The sun is so hot and so bright already, and it's I broke my watch strap as well, so let's see what time is. It's 11 o'clock. It's so hot that I can actually feel my head was beginning to burn, even with sunscreen on. So I thought I'd better get this on. It'll help protect the back of my neck and my face, because my face was very, very sore from Monday's paddle. So don't care if I look silly, I'm covered up. I normally bring along a couple of towels. So what I've done, I've taken one of the towels, and where my ankles are exposed, even though they got sun cream on them, because they're like milk bottles, they never see the sun, I've thrown a towel over it, so I've got sunscreen on my ankles and lower legs, and thrown a towel over to keep the sun off. So hopefully this will all help. I am hoping that even with paddling back, I will be back to well, the Yalding canoe platform and my car before the hottest part of the day, because Monday, from sort of 3:30, 4:30, it was absolute murder, and I'm sure it wasn't 27. It's just being out on the water. Water's like a heat and sun rays magnet. So hopefully I'll be back a little bit earlier, packed up, and on my way home for a nice cold drink. Along this section, you're literally in the middle of nowhere. It's just incredible. It's just fields to the left for miles. I think the same behind the trees and bushes to the right. So there's just no one about. There is a towpath, well, there is a path. It's not a canal, it's a river, but there is the path going along the river there. And you will, at times, you'll see the odd dog walker walking the dog along there, especially at weekends. But other than that, it's just, look at it, look at that ahead. Colours. Now we're in June. The colours in those trees, absolutely stunning. Right, here's a fork in the river, so you can probably see just slightly to the right there the navigation sign, so it's obviously Medway navigation to East Lock. I haven't got a clue what's up to the right. I keep meaning to go up there, but I just don't know. I don't know what it is. So I'll probably look it up on Google Earth, see where that goes, where it's just round a bit, dead end, or I honestly don't know. But anyway, we'll carry on straight up. We'll do as we're told, follow the arrow. I'm just taking advantage of a bit of the shade and just down paddle. Oh, unzip the buoyancy aid, and there you go. There in front of us, there's East Lock. And this is where I was on Monday before I turned round to go upstream to Tonbridge Slipway. I won't spend too long here because obviously I was only here the other day. As I said, you're always welcome to look at the video I uploaded on Tuesday, and that will show you East Lock in all its glory. The canoe pass, the lock itself, and I sat there and had lunch and had a chat with the EA lock keeper from Allington. There we go. We've landed. I had a 10 or 15 minute stop off at East Lock just to stretch my legs, have a drink, and just check over some of my equipment, charge a few batteries up, you know, just 10 minutes on charge, and just generally check things out. I'm now on my way back, so I hope you've enjoyed this video, Yalding to East Lock. It's been an absolutely glorious paddle, beautiful day out. I've only met one person, that was the paddle boarder, a lady on the paddle board who I actually met. She turned back at East Lock. We had another chat as she passed me on the way back. So I will be filming on the way back. That will be another video, because what I want to do is on Monday, when I did the Tonbridge Slipway to East Lock video, that was the official downstream route from the start, and filming going back from East Lock to Yalding will be part 2 of the official downstream route. So yeah, I'll be doing that on the way back, so I've still got about another 2.5 hours on the river paddling. Lucky me. Okay, if you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing, and if you've been with me a long time, thanks for sticking by me. There is gaps where I just don't get time, or you know, or work gets in the way of filming. If you've enjoyed my videos and you're a regular to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps motivate me to actually get out and record these videos and to share with you. So please subscribe, hit the like button, and don't be afraid to comment below. Let me know what you think of my videos. Bye for now.